सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः विधेः प्रयत्नस्य च कोऽपि वादः 21st verse. Yeah. विधेः प्रयत्नस्य च कोऽपि वादः तयोर्द्वयोर्मूलमजानतां स्यात् विधेः प्रयत्नस्य च मूलवस्तु सञ्जानतां नैव विधिर्न यत्नः यदीशितुर्वीक्षणमीक्षितारम् अवीक्ष्य तन्मानसिके क्षणं स्यात् न द्रष्टुरन्यः परमो हि तस्य वीक्षा स्वमूले प्रविलीय निष्ठा आत्मानमीक्षेत परं प्रपश्येत् इत्यागमोक्ते सुलभो न भावः नात्मैव दृश्यो यदि काकथेशे स्वयं तदन्नीभवनन्तदीक्षा धिये प्रकाशं परमो वितीर्य स्वयं धियोऽन्तः प्रविभाति गुप्तः धियं परावर्त्य धियोऽन्तरेऽत्र संयोजनान्नेश्वरदृष्टिरन्या न वक्ति देहोऽहमिति प्रसुप्तौ न कोऽपि नाभूवमिति प्रवक्ति यत्रोदिते सर्वमुदेति तस्य धियाहमशोधय जन्मदेशम् धियो न जानाति सतो न जन्म देहप्रमाणोऽन्य उदेति मध्ये अहङ्कृतिग्रन्थिविबन्धसूक्ष्म शरीरचेतो भवजीवनामा रूपोद्भवो रूपततिः प्रतिष्ठः रूपाशनो धूतगृहीतरूपः स्वयं विरूपः स्वविचारकाले धावत्यहङ्कारपिशाच एषः भावेऽहमः सर्वमिदं विभाति लयेऽहमो नैव विभाति किञ्चित् तस्मादहं रूपमिदं समस्तं तन्मार्गणं सर्वजयाय मार्गः सत्यास्थितिर्नाहमुदेति यत्र तच्चोदयस्थानगवेषणेन विना न नश्येद्यदि तन्न नश्येत् स्वात्मैक्यरूपा कथमस्तु निष्ठा सत्यास्थितिर्नाहमुदेति यत्र तच्चोदयस्थानगवेषणेन विना न नश्येद्यदि तन्न नश्येत् स्वात्मैक्यरूपा कथमस्तु निष्ठा 29th verse. Sa sthitihi, that sthiti, yasmin, in which, in which, na aham udeti, yatra na aham udeti. That sthiti, that abidance, sthiti here is not state. It's a wrong translation. Many times we will say sthiti means state. It's not a state. State is always temporary. But here in the Shastra, sthiti means it is more of a abidance. Sthiti is more of a gati, the end of one's quest. So that is the word that is used. But usually in translations, sthiti they say is state. It's not a state. Okay, yeah. So that is how it is. And so sthiti means yasmin sthitau, abiding in which. Yatra sthiti means yasmin sthitau na aham udeti. Udeti rises. And what does not rise? The ahankara. Which kind of ahankara are we talking about? The subjective component of the ahankara that we talked about, that does not arise. In which? In which abidance? What kind of abidance? Of course, the abidance that we are talking about is Brahman, one's own nature, one's own swarupa. So, Maharshi says, abiding in that where the I notion, I did this, me, I am the best, I have to have this, I have to, not do this, I like this, I hate this. This kind of an I doesn't keep raising its food. In fact, this in the Indian astrology, we have two shadow planets. They are Rahu and the head. And the other one is what? Ketu. This Rahu Ketu is depicted in the form of a snake. Snake is cut off at the head. And in fact, it was it was one person. A story goes, one person, and his name was Swabhanu, means self-lit. Self-lit eye, that was the name. And then look at what happened. If the Swabhanu means one's own light. And if one is not in touch with one's own light, this ahankara comes and catches. This is what it is. And so this Swabhanu was an asura. Asura means not ready for the knowledge of immortality. And then what happened? Then they churned the ocean. And I'm getting ready for the next verse because that is also a little bit of a churning. So they churned the ocean. Ocean is unconscious mind, full of all kinds of raga, dvesha, fears, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. And if you don't know these Sanskrit words, consider yourself lucky, because who wants to know the meanings of all these terrible emotions? Kama, recalcitrant, repeated desires which go on and on in a loop. Krodha, anger. Moha, delusion. And then Mada, pride. Matsarya, jealousy. That is the cherry on top. Okay. So all these things, this is the churning of all these things, processing these difficult emotions. Then what happened? Then all kinds of useless desires, objects of desires came out in the beginning. And then at the very end, we had Lord Dhanvantari with the Bhagavan Vishnu in the form of healing, because you can have many doctors, but this doctor was carrying an antibiotic to samsara, which which completely removes samsara. This Amrita Kalasha, this Kalasha means this part of what is called the nectar of nectar of what is that, immortality. It was just nothing other than a permanent inoculation against samsara that was in the form of knowledge, really. And so, to access this knowledge, these kama, krodha, all these difficult emotions must be managed. You have to manage them, you have to be able to suspend them. You can't just suddenly keep flying off the handle. You can't just suddenly live exactly how you want and expect this knowledge to come. It will not come. And Swabhanu, even though his mummy had high hopes and gave him such a good name, was obviously not living up to his name, because he had he had fallen into the company of the Asuras, and he was an Asura. But then he was wanting this knowledge without being qualified for the knowledge. So he pretended to be Bhagavan. Just like the ahankara sometimes pretends, we talked about it yesterday. And then when, and all the asuras were taken away because that same Lord Vishnu took the avatara of Mohini and just took some payasam, little kind of a porridge, and said to the, and walked in a very nice way. And all the asuras got attracted to her and followed her, thinking she had the nectar of immortality. She just had some oatmeal porridge. That's all she had. So, so then what happened? So then this one said, "Oh, there must be some trick here. I'm not going with them." And he stayed back with the devas, and then everybody was asked to put their hand out, and then they were given a handout. In the hand that was out, they were given a handout, and they started to drink. And then immediately Mahavishnu knew this one is an impostor. Don't feed the ahankara that is on a trip, already on a trip. Anger, fear, everything. And then if on top of that it is given the teaching, you are not the doer, this will be the, what is that? This will be the defense of every serial offender. How do you plead? Not guilty, Your Honor. But on what grounds? On the grounds that I am not the doer. Everybody will say that. First, this is all the paradox of Vedanta Shastra. First, you have to be accountable. You have dharma. You have karma. All these things are there. Once you master that, you let go of the doership. But if this do worship is let go of beforehand, then one is in trouble. One is not able to manage this knowledge. One is not. First of all, it doesn't go in, and then it can be abused, misused. So as he had a couple of sips. Yeah, one few drops he already took in, and then Vishnu doesn't talk. He just sent the disc and decapitated. That's what happened. So Swabhanu became Swa and Bhanu. Two things. Rahu, head. Ketu, the tail. And then so what is the so then they are also immortal because they had a few sips of this. And which is to say that they stand for different, the shadow aspects of the ahankara. The subjective aspects of the ahankara are Rahu and Ketu. They eclipse the sun like self with wrong ideas, with wrong notions, with very strong wants and fears, and all kinds of things, defenses, offenses. And so they are nothing. And people get scared. Oh, Rahu is catching my star on this eclipse. OMG, what should I do? Rahu is with you every day. Ketu is with you every day. The snake, the head and the tail is there with you every day. No, 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 it's not every day. How do you say it is every day? It is, in fact, every day. Because each time you get angry, Rahu is with you. In fact, it is Rahu that got angry. Each time you desire some useless thing, again it is Rahu. Each time you take everything personally, it is Ketu. This is what it is. It's the ahankara in various iterations. And so therefore what? So this is a very nice way of looking at ahankara in the form of Rahu and Ketu. And in India, we tell these stories to children. Stories about Rahu and Ketu are taught to children. You know why? So that one can confront the unconscious mind, and it's not too close for comfort. It is not at all too close for comfort, and we are able to confront the unconscious mind because it is Rahu, it's not me. So it feels a little safe to say, oh, Rahu is attacking now, and then Ketu is attacking now. And so this is what is talked about in the next three verses here. So this is just by way of introduction. So sa sthitihi yatra na aham udeti Satya, sa Satya. So that is the real abidance where the Rahu and the Ketu, in the form of the emotional makeup of the mind and the unconscious, etc., do not trouble the person. Rahu and Ketu have stopped troubling the person. Oh, is there such a person that the Rahu and Ketu do not trouble? Yes. Who is that person? Show me that person. You. No, no, no. I'm troubled by Rahu and Ketu all the time. Well, that is mithya. That you think you are troubled is the trouble. Okay? The trouble here is that you think you are troubled. So, you are Satya, Satchidananda Atma. What Rahu? Who Rahu? Who Ketu? There is no such thing. It's just like the person who said, I need some pain balm. Why? Yeah, my back is hurting. Why is your back hurting? Did you fall down? No. Oh, how did you hurt yourself? My shadow came and hit me. And that's why I need some pain balm. What will you say to the person? What will you say? Nothing. There's nothing left to talk. So Rahu, Ketu are shadow. The shadow side of yourself has no power over you. This is something that has to be totally and fully assimilated and understood. And sometimes, we make this, we have this, we tell ourselves tales. We tell ourselves lots of stories. Yeah, all this is Vedanta, but I am in a human body. Arey, this Vedanta is not made for Narayana, okay? It is made for it's made for human beings only. It's not made for Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva doesn't need Vedanta. And it's not made for Vishnu Bhagavan. Vishnu Bhagavan also is fully self-enlightened, doesn't need Vedanta. Oh, maybe it is for all the animals. Animals are also better off than us. They don't need Vedanta also. They are fine however they are. They don't have a problem centered on the self. So here you have this tool called Vedanta Shastra, which stops you from thinking about the shadow I to be real. The shadow I cannot be real. It is after all the shadow. It's a shady creature. But it has a few tricks up its sleeve. It appears as real without being real. That's why this verse starts, this verse number 29 starts with the word Satya. Means that indeed is real. The real abidance is not in this ahankara, ego level, the subjective ego level abidance, because you know what will happen as a result of that kind of an abidance? One will be just driven mad. One will be totally driven mad. So that kind of an avoidance is not necessary. Is not is completely useless, because that is where you get into trouble. And so Satya Sthitihi Sa. So that is the Satya Sthiti where this Rahu Ketu don't come over, and demand to stay. They come with their pajamas and toothbrush and they say, we are staying. We are staying over here only, we are not leaving. That is not the abidance. The abidance is where the Rahu Ketu are overridden with the help of this knowledge. The knowledge becomes it gives one the ability to transcend the effects of Rahu and Ketu in the form of the ahankara, the ego. And that's why it is split into two. Actually, Ketu means, Ketu can give some, some things like ill health. And Ketu doesn't ask you permission. He just takes away things. But because he is moksha karaka, he's actually he leads you to moksha. So Ketu in the unconscious mind represents the search for the highest truth, represents a yearning to be one with the whole, represents a yearning to be with oneself and to really gain this knowledge, etc., etc. Ketu is the giver of moksha. But then Rahu will not let him give moksha. Ketu will send you packing to a guru, because all other options closes the doors quickly, faster than Shani. Shani just drags his feet. Ketu is quick. Ketu, like Shweta Ketu. Ketu means comet. He's fast. He closes all other options. So what is open? What is open is door number 3. Door number 3 what? Yeah, that is Gurukula. That's the only thing. Or Zoom Kula, wherever you are. And so that's the only door that is open. And then, you grumblingly enter the door called door marked moksha. You grumblingly enter. And because you have no options, Ketu closes off all the options. But what does Rahu do? Rahu goes behind Ketu. When he closes the door, this one opens a window. And then when something else, closes, this one does. And Rahu is a tempter. That is why if you are running Rahu Mahadasha means 18 years. Not 1 or 2 years you can manage somehow. 7.5 years of Saturn doesn't hold a candle to Rahu Mahadasha. Rahu Mahadasha means 18 years. So the first 9 years he gives you all kinds of wonderful things. Of course, if he is not ill aspected and if he is well placed, then of course I'll have some emails. How is my Rahu? Where should it be placed? Yeah. Third house is a good place for Rahu. So you can check your horoscope and see. So if he, so so if he is well placed, third house, seventh house is not seventh, sixth house, like that. Some houses are there. So then, if he is well placed, then he will give some wonderful things. But then after a while, what will he do? He will also take them away. So the Rahu Dasha is like the snake eating its tail. So the first 9 years one climbs up, and then at the end of the other 9 years one loses everything that one has gained. And so the Rahu tempts you with opportunities, and Ketu tries to call you back. This is the tug of war in every human heart. The tug of war where the Devas and the Asuras were trying to churn the unconscious with a mountaintop, the ocean of the unconscious mind. With a mountaintop, it was being churned. And then, this is the tug of war. I want moksha. No, but not now. I think I need to just, I feel controlled. I need to be free. Free means what will you do? Oh, I just sit around. Moksha also you sit around, actually. But you can sit around in your own glory rather than worry about anything else. No, I think I need to do a few more things. I'm not a beer. Is that a word? Now it is. And I'm a doer. I don't know how to be. I only know how to do. All these things one tells oneself. This is all Rahu, Ketu, but then, oh, but nothing else is working. Maybe this will work. This will definitely work. And so, because it's been given by the doctor, the antidote, the permanent antidote to samsara. Once this Atma Ajnanam is taken care of by the nectar of immortality represented by the Shastra, then you know what? You don't need a booster shot. Yeah, you don't need to protect yourself from samsara. You don't need to do anything. It's like it's one and done. This is the Shastra is one and done. It's like that. What is that? There was one vaccine. Now they are not giving it too much. It was only one and then it was done. But then that also needed some boosting. Johnson and Johnson. Yeah. So here is the Shastra. So therefore, the abidance in this sthiti is where the Rahu Ketu do not rear their head or lash out at the tail. The tranquil lake, the unconscious mind is Ishvara Srishti, it is there, but it is like a tranquil, placid lake rather than some kind of what is that called? Hmm. Swamp. Yeah. Swamp. Florida has swamps. Yeah. That's why seeing you, I remembered swamp. So, not that you are reminding me of swamp, but the place. So, swamp means, it is just stagnant water. You think nothing is happening, but inside there's a lot of activity. Suddenly, one mud bubble will come. Raga and Dvesha will bubble up. And people go see this swamp and see all these things. It's actually very beautiful if you look at it. Huh? Yeah, there are alligators. I'm reminded now. Yeah, so there are alligators. Yeah, we have some people from Fort Myers here, and so that is that is who I'm talking to. And so there are alligators. There are all kinds of beings, and so therefore this is that which is free of Rahu Ketu, no alligators, just a placid lake, clear. The sediments, if they are there, they are sunk to the bottom. They have not the problem, not the ability to trouble anymore at all ever. This, this is what is called sthiti. And the same word is used in the last verse of the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Yesha Brahmi Sthiti Partha Nainam Prapya Vimuhyati स्थित्वा स्यामन्तकालेऽपि ब्रह्मनिर्वाणमृच्छति एषा स्थितिः. This abidance, O Arjuna, is called Brahmi Sthiti. Brahmanah iyam. This is belonging to Brahman. And so that is the sthiti called Brahmi Sthiti. That which comes from the knowledge of internalizing, assimilating the knowledge of Brahman. Na enam prapya vimuhyati. Having gained this, one does not swerve, one does not again get deluded. Sthitva asyam. In this, abiding in this, antakalepi. Let's say, you've been wanting this knowledge, but somehow it has been eluding the person. Person has been wanting this knowledge, has shraddha, has preparation, everything. Is wanting the knowledge, but somehow it's eluding. On the deathbed, suddenly the person sees the truth. Oh, what the Guru has been saying. Oh, I think I got it now. And then dies. Even at the last minute. Brahma Nirvanam Richati, meaning gains this Brahman as oneself, is not needing to be reborn. So the same word sthiti is used. Where, what is this sthiti? This sthiti is where the Atma Ajnanam is dismissed. Atma Ajnanam means what? Self-ignorance. And the self-ignorance is the mummy of Ahankara. And without the mummy, the baby will not survive. Okay? Yeah. The Ahankara, as we saw in the previous verse, Rupa Shanaha, Dhuta Grihita Rupaha, Rupatati Pratishtaha. It feeds, it has to be fed. So the mummy has to keep feeding the baby. And if you take away the mummy out of the picture, the baby is gone because the baby follows mummy. But where will the baby go? Into another head. Don't worry. Okay, yeah. Where the knowledge is not there. It will migrate into another head which has Atma Ajnanam, which has embraced Atma Ajnanam. So this is what the understanding is. So then uh, so, so a placid lake means without Rahu Ketu. Rahu Ketu may be there, but they are not bothering. They are just there. Why? Because they have been deactivated. They have been deactivated. It's like a bomb that has been safely detonated, and then the shells of those landmines are in the World War One museum. You can go see. World War Two museum. You can go see. All of them are there. But you can look at them. They will not explode because they have already been safely disengaged. They do not have the power to bite. They will not explode. So, mind you, this is not getting rid of the ahankara, because without ahankara, the knowledge cannot be gained. And so, therefore, the ahankara we look at from the standpoint of two components. The first one is the subjective component. Why me? I'm an idiot, all these things. Everybody is against me, these kinds of feelings. And then the ahankara, which is the objective component, meaning I am. I now am. Simple. The objective component. That is the one that is nurtured. And this is the one that is left to die. So when we talk about ahankara nasha, it is the subjective component of the ahankara that is left to die. Or the author here, Maharshi, is asking you to destroy, not the objective component. The objective component, simply that is there in the form of the I notion, is just here. That's all it is. And so then, Satya Sthitihi Nahamudeti Yatra, where the I in the form of the Rahu Ketu does not rise. And then Tacha Udayasthana Gaveshanena. Gaveshanam means research, finding out. Finding out what? Tasya, tatcha means further, finding out. Tat udayasthanam. Catch hold of the mother. Udayasthanam means the source of the birth of this Rahu Ketu. Embodying the ahankara, the shadow self. Where did it come from? And we know now the answer. Atma Ajnanam is the mummy. Avidya is her name. Mataji of the Ahankara. Avidya has given birth to this Ahankara. And then what? Tasya Udayasthana Gaveshanena Vina. Nanashyet. Nanashyet. This Ahankara, the subjective component of the Ahankara, will never be destroyed. Why? When? When will it not be destroyed? Without looking into Atma Ajnanam, its source. Because there are now in the world proliferating many kinds of what? So-called paths to moksha. Sometimes people say it's as easy as breathing. Breathe in the moksha, breathe out the samsara. But if it was that as easy as breathing, then why would Adi Shankara take so much effort to write so many bhashyas and so many Vedanta texts? Why would he make the effort? And and why would all the Vedanta teachers keep on writing? Why would the teachers keep teaching? All if you have to do is breathe out samsara, breathe in moksha. Then, you don't need it. But still, there are such, what should I say, spiritual paths or so-called, paths. All you have to do is breathe. One particular school of thought says. Another school of thought says, forget breathing, keep doing. Keep having vairagya. Keep having, the first we'll do this, the doing one we'll take up later. I met this woman on the plane. She was my seat mate one time on an international trip. And then so there was a lot of hours. So for the first, she tried very hard to convert me to follow her guru. And her guru is some person in China or something like that. And I said, you follow, no problem. And no, let me tell you what he does. He downloads information. I said, is he a computer? What do you mean he downloads information? No, he downloads information and then transmits it in my head. I said, why can't you download it yourself? I mean, he should teach you how to download. No, that only he knows. And this is how it is. And then she said, I was with him in China. I said, now I'm going back to America. I said, why? Because I need money. I said, why do you need money? Because each download costs $5,000. Each download. And then he promotes Vairagya. Vairagya means, you give me your money. You will have vairagya. Simple. All your money you give me. And then what do you get in return? You get dispassion. This is what it is. So there are many types of spiritual quests. These kinds of things are there. And then certain others, don't worry. Keep doing what you have to do, and then Bhagavan will be with you. You know, do what you need to do. Bhagavan is there with you, and you are not in charge of moksha. Moksha is just, sprinkled by Bhagavan as and when needed, and who he chooses. And they are convinced Bhagavan is he, by the way. Okay. Yeah. So who he chooses will get moksha. Who he doesn't choose will not get moksha. So it's not in your hands. So don't do all this study. What is this study for? And this is how so many things are there. And they go completely contrary to the Upanishads. A small detail that all of these miss. And and when Ramana Maharshi's in Ramana Maharshi's time, when he was walking this earth, there was very much a proliferation of all these kinds of uh, paths. As my teacher would say, in America they don't say path, they say path. Now, my teacher would say there are only two paths, sociopath and psychopath. That's all there is. And so this is what he would say, whenever these kinds of discussions used to come up. And so then here it's very difficult to it's very difficult to choose which one to do, because one is a simpleton, one is naive, one doesn't know, and one is not supposed to know. But then when you don't know, then how are you going to choose what is the correct thing for you? The teacher doesn't come looking for you. If the teacher comes looking for you, please run away from such a teacher, okay? Yeah, this is contrary to logic. This is contrary to every religion. In any religion, the teacher doesn't come running after the student, chasing after the student. And so therefore what? So therefore this is the world is plunged in this kind of a spiritual confusion, especially because it is Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga means there are two problems. First problem is you don't know how to think clearly and properly. Part A of Kali Yuga. Oh, okay. What is the next problem? You don't listen to anybody who tells you what to say or how to think either. You don't have the wisdom, part one, and then you don't listen to the wisdom of another. Then what to do? This is how the hopeless thing is. How hopeless the situation is. That's why somebody said, what is that? Very nice verse is there. Let me see if I can remember it. Kalau kalmasha chittanam papadravyopajeevinam vidhikriya vihinanam harer namaiva kevalam. So what to do in Kali Yuga? Why Kalau in Kali Yuga, Kalau seventh case, Kalau kalmasha chittanam. So kalmasha chitta means the chitta, the emotion, the emotional makeup of the person is full of baby Rahus and baby Ketus. So many of them. Full of ahankara, full of raga dvesha. The chitta means the emotional makeup, the psyche. Papadravya upajivina. And then how are they earning their living? They are earning their living through papa karma. This is how it is, directly or indirectly. So if you are, let's say, if somebody is employed by a pesticide company, if you're working for a pesticide company, pesticide means killing, okay, yeah. So then, but they are pests. We are only manufacturing things that kill pests. That may be your argument. The pest doesn't think it's a pest. It comes home to your house thinking I'm a guest. It doesn't think it's a pest. So here is a small problem. And you say, I'm just in the sales region. I am not manufacturing. I am not the scientist who's mixing up test tubes and making up this thing. So hey, I'm not getting papa, but indirectly, you are a papa dravya upajivi. You are. Because, that is how it is. But then, but I just gave the example of the pesticide because it is very up front and center. But anything you do, it's all all dirty money, dirty jobs. even though you may not be actually killing anybody or anything, but somehow, it is what it is going into the military industrial complex to wage wars and do all kinds of things. So somehow you are culpable. This is Kali Yuga. Each and every one. Even the one who says, I'm accountant, I'm just adding up numbers, even that is vitiated. This is what is called Papa Dravya Upajivinam. So for the people who are, into all these ways of making money, is itself tainted by omissions and commissions. Papa means various omissions and commissions, no dharma. And then vidhi kriya vihinanam. They don't know what to do, vidhi. And then kriya, and they don't know what is not to be done either. They do what is not to be done. They do not do what is to be done. and then not happy with that, as though that is not enough. They will also not listen to anybody who says what needs to be done. So they sabotage themselves constantly. So, what kind of Vedanta will such people be available for? Just to sing the name of Hari. Harer nameva namaiva kevalam. Only the name of Hari will be the boat that will take you across. That's why he is called Hari. Because whenever you say Hari, it is spelled Hurry. Hari, 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 come and save me. Hurry up, please. And so this is exactly what the problem is. And so here, this is the sthiti. So this gaveshanena vina, without, because to come out of what this Kali Yuga represents. Kali Yuga represents the epitome of Atma Ajnanam. Atma Ajnanam, self-ignorance again. So the epitome, the embodiment, the culmination of Atma Ajnanam. But then there is hope, because the chanting of the name of Hari will grow the person up to listen to the Shastra. Every bhajan, every kirtan takes you a little step forward, a little more. Every little bit of seva, every little, puja, every little archana, every little arati, everything helps you to go a little bit further out of this well, of this stagnant well of festering waters of anger and desire, festering mud bubbles of anger and desire. And then what happens? So this is called gaveshanam. Gaveshana means the not just looking for the source and saying, oh, ahankara is the source. Okay, business as usual. No, if ahankara is the source, what is the source of ahankara? Ajnanam. Oh, okay, ajnanam is the source. Okay, let me go business as usual. No, you tackle the ajnanam. Shravana, manana, nididhyasanena, through listening to the teachings. When? All the time, as much time as you can spare. Listening to the teachings, and then Shravana, and then contemplating on that, meditating on that, Manana, Nididhyasana, reveling in that. Once you know the meaning, reveling in the meaning of the words of the Shastra. So without this three-pronged approach to Atma Ajnanam, without really connecting to the Shastra, redemption is not possible at all. Gaveshanena vina ahankara na nashyet. The ahankara will never, ever, 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 ever be destroyed. No chance of the ahankara being destroyed. No, not at all. And then what? The tat yadi tat na nashyet. So if supposing you say, so what if it's not destroyed? Let it not be destroyed. Yadi tat na nashyet. Swatma aikya rupa kathamastu nishtha. So kathamastu nishtha, a kind of a, what is that called? Rhetorical question. What kind of a nishtha? What kind of an abidance? Nishtha means abidance. What kind of an abidance will you have? How can you have the abidance in the Atma, in the oneness of yourself, in the oneness of the whole universe, where the universe is just an extension of you, where you are that Ishvara? Who is charged with the ability to create, the ability to sustain, the ability to take back the universe. You are non-separate from that Ishvara. And how can you understand that? Swatmaikya Rupa Kathamastu. Swatmaikya Rupa Nishtha Kathamastu. So, this kind of an abidance in your own glory, you can kiss it goodbye because it will never happen without the readiness. And the readiness, includes something very important, choosing the right kind of lineage. Yeah, today is Adi Shankara Jayanti, very, very auspicious day. Adi Shankaracharya's birthday, what is that? 2334th birthday or something like that. After a while, you have to stop counting. You just say Adi Shankara Jayanti. And so, very, this is what was his major contribution, was to open the minds and to tell, to bring everybody on this path, to open the minds to not follow false prophets, people who just keep on stroking your ego. It may look nice and feel nice, but you're not learning anything, you're not gaining anything. That is not the, it may be comfortable and you may, then you may be praised, you may feel happy, but that is not the what is being talked about here. So the ability to do Shravanam itself requires preparation. And that is already hinted at as Satyasthiti, where the Aham does not arise. And then that preparation, without that preparation, nothing is gained. And then with that preparation, one tackles the Rahu Ketu within. How? Through the three-pronged approach, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. This is what Maitreyi was told when she went to Yajnavalkya for this knowledge. Atma va are shrotavyah, mantavyah, nididhyasitavyah. Atma, vai, are means honey. Oh dearest wife, Atma needs to be listened to, because you cannot read about it on your own. You will yourself come in the way. You come across a sentence, Tattvamasi. Oh, it doesn't apply to me. Next. You will just bypass it because you'll not understand it. It will frustrate you. Atma va are shrotavyah. And Shravanam itself is enough if the preparation is there. But many times the preparation is not there. So Mananam is called for, where all the doubts are removed through really sitting with the teachings, asking questions, talking to other people who are studying, etc. And then Nididhyasanam is getting rid of what is called Viparita Bhavana, oppositional tendencies. Tendencies like, I know I'm Brahman, but I'm behaving like a Jiva. I am behaving, Jiva means full of peeves. The one who has all kinds of complaints. Piva. So somebody who has a lot of complaints. I'm behaving, I'm complaining. Even though I know I'm Brahman, okay, you need to just revel in the Shastra. You need to really revel in the Shastra, and then, otherwise, you will not, this Nishtha, this abidance will elude you all the time. It will definitely elude you. Very beautiful verse. And this is kind of an opening to the next two verses, which kind of go together. Let us read the next one. कूपे यथा गाढजले तथान्तः निमज्य बुद्ध्याशितया नितान्तम् प्राणं च वाचं च नियम्य चिन्वन् विन्दे निजहाङ्कृतिमूलरूपम् कूपे यथा गाढजले तथान्तः निमज्य बुद्ध्याशितया नितान्तम् प्राणं च वाचं च नियम्य चिन्वन् विन्दे निजाहङ्कृतिमूलरूपम्. Beautiful verse. Again, Kupe, in the well. Yatha, Gadha Jale Kupe, in a well which is got deep waters. Tatha, Antarnimajya. Antarnimajya, you know what happens? Antarnimajya means going diving within. Buddhya, how am I diving within? Buddhya shitaya nitantam. Nitantam atyantam means a lot, intensely sharpened. Shitaya. Shitaya buddhya, agreya buddhya, meaning through a sharpened buddhi, through the sharpened intellect, nimajya, having got, having dived, having diving into this with an intellect, having modulated the prana through pranayama and other exercises. Vacham, and the words, speech. Niyamya, regulating the vacha, vak. Chinman, gathering, focusing. Vindet. Vindet means may one find, may one look for, may one find. Nija ahankriti moola roopam. Nija ahankriti, the real I, the objective component of this I notion, which is whose truth is Satchidatma, Satchidananda Atma, may one find. This is a very nice analogy of diving into a body of water, and let's say somebody was trying to get the well out of the water. In the ancient times, this used to frequently happen. And so the lady was trying to get some water for her household, whatever was needed, drinking, etc. So then her head ornament, chudamani, very expensive, gold, studded with stones, everything, fell in the water. Okay? Falls in the water. Then what? If it falls in the water, then you have to hire a diver and say, and then the diver would ask, is it towards this side, that side? Let's say it's a big well. So it's this side. No, it was more here to this edge. Okay, so more or less the location is known. And the diver goes like this, no snorkeling and scuba, nothing in those times. You just, you take a deep breath, close your nose, dive in, and then search a little bit, and with a focused mind, because you have very little time before the bubbles finish, you have to come up, otherwise the person is finished. So you you find the gem, because and you have good eyesight, you catch the gem, and let's say it's a clear well, and then you come up with the head ornament. So that is exactly what it is. So what the head ornament represents and what the waters represent, etc. We will have to wait till Monday to see. This is a shorter class because I have an appointment just now. So we will wait till Monday. It will be well worth the wait. All right. Yeah. And I wanted to share with you a couple of documents and some news. Monday, May 9th, for me. No, May 9th is what? Monday, Tuesday? Monday for me, Monday for us, Sunday night for you. 10 to 11:30, there is a talk on the occasion of Adi Shankara Jayanti, and how to log in and all is given on the website. So you can go there and see if you would like to log in. You have to register first, and I think it will be there. Did whatever I typed came? Did it come? I don't see it, but
the link doesn't open, Swamiji, but
arshaviji.org, it doesn't open. Maybe I should have.
We have to copy the full link.
HTTP www. Yeah, then it will open. Okay, so there, that should open. That will have the information, and the other one is the other one is this summer 10-day retreat. You are welcome to you are welcome to come. It is in person. And here is a flyer for that. We'll be studying Jivan Mukti Viveka, and also, what is that? Something else. Vasanti, do you have a copy of that flyer?
No, not here, Swaminiji.
Yeah, somebody, does anybody have a copy of that flyer that you would like to share? No, nobody has. Okay. The computer is taking. Here it is. Okay, I'm going to share it now. It should come now. Yeah. So you can download that. And how to register? There are 2 emails given. So you can email them to register, and they'll send you all the information. And if you want to come for the whole time, most welcome. If you want to come for part of the time, that is also fine. Okay. Yeah. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Amma.
Thank you. Good morning, good night, wherever